2 years, but they don't be thugged out. They just serious.
Yeah, they do be serious. All right, here we go. Straight politicking on all you fools, and I'm sitting here with Munchie B, the mayor, and Spider Loc, the most easty. And I sometimes forget to introduce myself, but I'm Alex Alonso, StreetTV, and you're watching Straight Politicking, and I'm here with my two brothers. What's going on?
Alex, the one whom needs no introduction.
The OG it is.
The OG it is.
Yeah, man, I just dropped the OG video, too, this morning. That's going crazy.
That was hard, bro.
Let me see where it's at. Just dropped it a few hours ago, and it's at 13,000. But
Yeah, in less than 10 hours. So that's definitely what we consider above the curve, man. Salute, man. That was a very entertaining, interesting, and fact-filled production, Brody.
yeah, well, you know, I'm at a point where I have no patience for some of the BS that seems to gain a lot of traction on YouTube and online.
What do you say to those that say you caping for Big U and out here is trying to save him? He's in your pocket. I just read a few of your comments. That's why I'm just curious.
Look, man, I ain't talked to Big U since Raymond Washington's mother's funeral, Violet.
Salute to Big U, though.
That had to be, I don't know if that was earlier this year or late last year, probably earlier this year. And Big U is not the type of guy that I talk to on the phone on a regular basis. I might have less than 5 conversations with him in a year. I'll have more conversations with you in a week than I do with Big U in a year.
And I'm aware that you and Big U are not strangers. Have a history peppered with all type of ups, downs, ins and outs. Even though that you are comrades and cordial, I know you guys are not best of friends.
I mean, we've went through our ups and downs back in,
Ages ago.
years ago, but like grown men, we eventually have a conversation, talk it out, and let bygones be bygones. Oh, I tell you what we didn't do and what we don't do is we don't run to the internet and jump on people's podcasts and start smutting each other.
Never
That's
have,
one
never
thing we
will.
don't do, and I ain't gonna hold back. There were times I had issues with Big U.
Likewise.
There are times where I disagreed with bro.
Likewise.
There are times I've argued with bro.
Likewise.
There are times he argued with me.
Likewise.
So this video that I did was let me defend Big U.
And for my own personal interest, me and Big U, just to get some idea to some, it was a point in time where I did not appreciate Big U's relationship with Buck Jenner, a.k.a. Young Buck. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it all worked out amicably for me and the G homie because it all worked out correctly. But that went through a process just to let people know my interactions with him ain't all just have been through the years. It's be ups and downs. And, that's what happened when you're dealing with people that you respect, you interact with, and it's family, love. It don't always be hugs and kisses all the way through.
Nah, I barely talk to bro, and it is what it is. If people are gonna think that, they gonna think that.
Salute. That's a good. I appreciate that response.
A lot of people just can't decipher right from wrong, and maybe you feel like you tapping on the right side of things when you reporting on things.
Well, initially, what got me on this loose cannon, anti-loose cannon, anti-fake loose cannon campaign is because I have a personal friend that I've known since, I want to say 13 years old, 14 maybe, that goes by the name Loose Cannon. That's been in the music business since I've known him, that he's introduced me to some of the biggest rappers that I've ever met. I met them through the real Loose Cannon. Nas. I met Sticky Fingers and Onyx through him.
Shout out to Sticky Fingers. That's my nigga, man.
And I ended up, me and Fredro Starr, that's what, Fredro Starr, Sticky Fingers used to be in a group called Onyx. I don't know the third or the fourth guy. Used to be 4 guys and it was 3 guys, but really it's Sticky Fingers and Fredro.
The face and the image of it, correct.
I met them at Loose Cannon's house one day. One time I walked into Loose Cannon's house, went in the backyard, and Flavor Flav was sitting there.
Make sure you say the real Loose Cannon.
The real Loose Cannon.
Because you guys, I believe this is the reason why Loose Coochie Lips Cannon chose Loose Cannon as a name to run with, because of the credits that were already attached to it and the lack of a parent profile that was so obvious. Because if you from rolling anything, especially 60s, I don't care if it's 90s, 40s, 30s, anything, and you have a name that includes O's, to eliminate the O's is so contrary to what we do when we play with words and represent what we represent. He had to take that name for the purpose of receiving the exact same credit that your partner was getting.
Yeah, kind of stole his image to a certain extent.
Exactly what he did.
And claiming his accolades.
And then to know he has a history, even in the hustle game, that he may have retired to, because I don't incriminate anyone. I know he's doing legitimate business. He has Airbnbs and all that now, but we know in the past, his licks was on some fraud shit. So it's not surprising that he was able to pull off or think in that fashion.
Well, that's how I got pulled into it. And then, of course, when I saw he was going at it with other people, lying on Big U and lying on a whole bunch of other folks.
And lying on me since 06.
Lying on you since that time.
06, yeah.
But shit, the world became aware of him when he went on No Jumper and came with the, what y'all say, ginormous? That's the word y'all introduced me to. The ginormous lies and allegations, you know what I'm saying? Then the world really became, you know what I'm saying, to who the weirdo was. But
You know what's crazy is that I've known of this guy probably since you've mentioned, 06?
06, yeah.
Because the real Loose Cannon hit me up during the MySpace years.
That's what it was, MySpace.
And he asked me, who is this dude, Loose Cannon? He's supposed to be from 60s. And I remember I think he called Steve Lobel because he knew Steve Lobel was tapped into the 6-0s. And he said that, I think Steve Lobel told him that, it ain't nobody, there's nothing to worry about.
Oh, my mama, dad, homies, daughters, lokes, loved ones, everything I love and live for, my sister and my sons. Just the same thing I did. It wasn't Steve, but I hollered at Big U. He called me back with the exact same report, bro. Back in 06, when I ran across this motherfucking content of Loose Coochie Lips Cannon lying on me, claiming he had met me and disrespected me, and I had no idea he existed.
I told you, don't say cuz, you not no Crip.
Look how far he would go. That's why you guys know. He been trying this since 06. This is the rebirth. So he would say those bold claims. Okay, just think, I may have not won every encounter I ever had, if you want to imagine that. Do you believe I'm in an elevator and said, what up, cuz? And Loose Coochie Lips said, don't call me cuz, you ain't no Crip in 2006?
It's not possible.
Thank you.
It's impossible.
Thank you.
Hey, not to derail, I'm not from over there. They got thousands of members, but the only Cannon I know from the 60s is Cannonball from 60s.
Banger.
So they go be in the comments on YouTube. The 60s go, the only Cannon I know is Cannonball from Rolling 60s. I never heard of a Loose Cannon in my life.
Devil's advocate, I saw a comment that allude to that. And then I saw a response claiming that Loose Coochie Lips is claiming that Loose Cannon is his rap name, but he is one of the Cannonballs. I'm not sure if he personally did that, but I saw that in the comments alluding to that.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
All right, man. I'll say this before we move on to our topics. If Loose Cannon wants to say anything about Alex Alonso on the internet, let me just say that I look forward to interviewing his second wife, Nikki.
Hey, Nikki, how you doing, sis?
And this is an interview that I don't think he wants me to do. But if bro wants to go on the internet and say whatever he wants to say about me, we gonna fly Nikki to Los Angeles.
Is it okay if he tells the truth about you and be honest about you?
Oh, if he wants to go and speak truths, I have no problem with that. But we already know that's not his get down. Mm-hmm. His get down is to go on there and maybe put a costume on. I noticed he puts on wigs and does all this other weird stuff.
All type of color, weird shit on his lips.
Yeah, so hey, if he wants to do that, inspire me, bro. Inspire me to go interview your second wife, Nikki. Because if you don't want that interview, because you might not be able to stay in that house in Vegas
with that filthy ass bathwater
on Aberdeen.
Because bro is living off of this girl.
Oh yes, he is walking around in them flip flops every morning, sliding in the street, talking about cupcake, thinking about men first thing in the morning, sweetheart and cupcake, talking to men. What's wrong with you with that big heavy ass slow tongue goofball?
He's living off this girl. That's her house. She makes the money. She holds him down.
And I can't knock that. That's cool. But she slaps you on camera, bro. Reach back like a pimp and slap the hoe. That's where it looked bad at.
Yeah, we did see that.
Yeah.
That was crazy. But yeah, man, if you want the the interview with the second wife, go ahead and talk about me. And I'll definitely make sure we fly Nikki to Los Angeles and we take care of all the arrangement. I know she's got a lot of responsibilities with those kids that she's taking care of. One of the kids that you abandoned, bro. Let me see. He abandoned all the kids, to keep it real. He abandoned all his kids, bro. All his kids he abandoned.
So Alex, what you telling me, this interview could possibly have him packing up his PS5, putting in the backpack, and getting them put out?
Yeah, because I'm gonna ask some real hard questions if I interview Nikki. Nikki doesn't live in LA, so it's not a priority. It's not on top of my list.
She need a vacation, man. She's stressed out there, man. This nigga ain't giving her no help take care of them babies. I'm sure she got a babysitter. Come on out here and holler at us, Nikki. Bring Gigi with you.
Yeah, well, Gigi and Nikki live in two different cities.
Yep, they can land at the same time. We'll coordinate the flights.
Shout out Gigi.
Yeah.
But yeah, I look forward to doing the Nikki interview if this guy wants to get online and talk about me. All right, C-Mac, man. We talked about him.
Free Mac.
We talked about him getting arrested last year. There was a lot of talk that he got caught with a gun with a switch. And if that was the case, bro was looking at like 10 years, 8 years, 12 years, 13 years. But it turns out that he wasn't looking at those charges.
I interviewed, not an interview, actually, I did a podcast with my co-host, Spody Face, and ODM Slim Sunday. And I asked him on there what was the max that he was facing. And he said 33 months. So it's quite ironic that, they still gave him the max because the clip should be coming out soon. We're waiting for it to drop. But I just asked him prior to him going to court on Sunday, so what's the most that he's facing? Because he told him he was going to court tomorrow. And he told us ahead of time that it was 33 months.
Yeah, I think I did hear that.
Hey, we all familiar with the term jailhouse Johnny Cochran's. Mm-hmm. Everybody be thinking they know the law and all this little shit, right? Mm-hmm. But then I'm thinking he was stuck for a longer time until we was talking to Megan Blanco. Did I say it right?
Yep.
Shout out Megan Blanco.
And you could probably plug this clip in, but you had asked her, you switch lanes from Boosie to him about his situation, and she said there is no minimum, but they try to run you up though. So it ain't no, because a lot of cases in the feds got minimums, like a minimum 10 years, this and that. She said on that episode,
minimum, yeah,
there's no mandatory minimum for what he in jail for.
What do you think or believe that he's in jail for? Because it's largely reported. I think you mentioned Ghost Gun.
Ghost Gun, that's what I believe.
The conviction, according to Odie and Slim, who I consider my expert source of information related to C-Mac, not only was he charged with, but found guilty of being in possession of ammunition, not an actual weapon.
Well, let me read the article because, believe it or not, his arrest, his sentencing, his felony conviction landed him on Fox 11 News.
That's how you know you viral, bro.
Print edition.
Keyway Nation.
So C-Mac made Fox 11 News. Let me read this article. It says here, a South Los Angeles rapper whose YouTube videos have racked up millions of views was sentenced Monday to nearly 3 years behind bars after pleading guilty to a federal charge. Trevor Hurd, 31 years old, known by his stage name Crip Mac, was sentenced to 2 years and 9 months in federal prison. Hurd pleaded guilty in downtown LA in April to one count of being a felon in possession of ammunition. One count of that's still a lot. You got
shout out Odium Slim.
Yeah, one count of ammunition. He was arrested in December in state court by U.S. Marshals moments after L.A. County judge agreed to drop the gun charges so federal prosecutors could take the case. The indictment states that Hurd was found in September in possession of a handgun bearing no serial number, commonly known as ghost guns, and 10 rounds of ammunition.
So does that mean they dropped the gun and he pled to a lesser because it's only ammunition in the end?
So it is partial. It is true that he was found with a gun with no serial number.
But that's not what he's actually penalized for. They probably broke out a deal where they dropped the gun.
Charge.
Yeah.
Lesser charge.
According to the document, Hurd has been arrested on felony charges 5 times since 2014 and convicted once. The charges include 2 arrests for being felon in possession of firearm, attempted second-degree armed robbery, grand theft, and transportation of a controlled substance.
I found it interesting. Odium Slam reported that in stipulations upon him receiving this deal is that upon his release, he is not allowed to make money off of hollering 5-5 Crip and things of this nature any longer.
I guess those are the probation conditions. No gang activity.
That's deep.
That's easy though. Wordplay. You know how we do.
I think it's gonna be a opportunity for him to display, and I don't want to hatch anything that was negative in conversation, but me and the homies have been trying to discuss what we believe that Crip Mac represents to Munchie, which is more than that was obvious. And I think he's going to be challenged to be able to display that now. He's a father, too, so that might give him a good path of virality. Just imagine a Crip Mac had a child while he was gone, and the baby's only 2 or 3. He gets to come home and start off a whole journey. There you go, Crip Mac.
Do you know if he got a daughter or a son?
Daughter, a baby girl. So it's Crip Mac catching up and keeping up with little baby girl. You're going to be viral immediately. Just make it about you and your daughter, Loc.
And I just heard Munchie talking to the homie from A-Tray Gangster.
Shout out Tiny Menace.
Who did a dime in the feds.
Right.
And he said that Crip Mac's outlook on life and gangbanging might be a whole lot different after experiencing the way black unity, LA black unity, exists in the feds.
You know Crip Mac does not classify himself as black. He identifies with the Usos first.
Yeah, but he's Crippin'.
I want to add that into the conversation because I don't think you guys are aware of that.
But even the Usos that bang Park Village or Carson or Long Beach, they go to prison with blacks.
A lot of them turn Uso and get tribal bands over their gangbanging tattoos when they get to prison too, because that's the program that dominates in prison.
So they go with the others.
The majority.
Okay. Yeah, and that right there, that was always a head scratcher to me. You know what I'm saying? But Crip Mac done been to the penitentiary and just cripped it through, and he didn't go with the Usos at that time. You know what I'm saying?
So he may stick. Matter of fact, I would probably bet that he'll stick and stay. But I don't think he realizes that he's choosing to stay black, because if you listen to some of his viral conversation when it comes to it, I think he's proud to bang Polynesian. So he's going to have to make a decision. The Usos.
I don't know if the Polynesian card is large in the federal system.
So it might not even translate the same.
Yeah, you know, like in the
So do you think that tattoo, everybody from Hoover in the federal system is going to look at the tattoo like non-consequential?
Hey, Munchie, you should address that because you just talked with Tiny Menace about that.
Right.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
See. So what I asked Tiny Menace, because I was privy, because I seen G-Face interview, and he said he looked at things different because when you go to the feds, it's just Crip. It ain't the gangster card. It ain't neighborhood. It ain't hub and a dub. And you know, it's just Crip. So, and I asked Tiny Menace, is that some of the reason why you felt the way you felt when you came home and you made the viral video you made? Then I went on to Crip Mac. I said, based on this tattoo he got, how you think things will go with him during this federal time? And he think it's gonna be cool. You know what I'm saying? And he said he think he'll come home a little sharper, because
definitely
the feds, because you know Tiny Menace done been on all levels. He said the feds is like different, and you get a different type of schooling going there.
Yeah, the criminals in the feds typically have a reputation of being experts at beating the system. In the county, I mean, in the actual state system, you find criminals who weren't usually that successful at beating the system. But in the feds, you find the guys that were successful, and the feds finally caught up to them, typically. So you have a large community of people who are not what we consider on the same intelligence level that populates state prison.
But like he said, in the feds is all 50 states. You know what I'm saying? California is it's these 32 prisons, and you know, and it's how our politics out here. So based on this all 50 states, you know, California gonna stick with California, especially if you from LA. And then if you Crippin', it's real, like it's Crip unity. You know what I'm saying? And he said when he walked through the door in the feds after getting his time, he did 10 years off 13. He said, "Where you from?" He say, "A-Tray Gangs." He said, "Oh, you a homie." And then he breaks, "Oh, where you from?" He said, "I'm from 1180 East Coast." And he was shocked, like, homie, because he used to the county jail politics, etc. So Crip Mac gonna run into a lot of that, and he think his what you want to call it, that he gonna come home a little sharper if he embraced
he won't be the only one with whack outs, and whack outs on the forehead to the internet so brazen seems so crazy, but in the reality of our world, that's just part of what you will bump into.
But his is pronounced.
I'm just saying.
The more pronounced, the more disrespect it gives off, right?
Indeed.
I mean, but just reading it's more profound because it's spelled all out. But like X4 got it abbreviated on his. It's a lot of those tattoos.
So let me ask you this: which is more disrespectful, the HK that X4 has on his cheek, or the Hoover killer on the forehead?
What's more irritating looking at it? It's spelled out.
The one that's more disrespectful is Crip Mac because of his popularity.
No, I think because it's spelled out. It's like,
it's more in your face if you're an enemy to Crip Mac.
But to those,
so it's more triggering
not
to the rival, right?
Not to the Hoovers.
No, it's more triggering to a rival. Well, yeah, to
the outsiders. Yeah, the spared out looks like worse, but to a Hoover, it's the same exact thing, bro.
Well, see,
we know what you mean. We know what you're saying, and it's on your face.
Like our county jail level, you come in here. Where you from? Oh, I'm from X, Y, and Z. And you turn down the fade. A person might not let you turn it down. You know why? Because you got hood whackouts. I don't care if it's an abbreviation spelled out. It's mandatory. You got to get them. You know what I'm saying? But I think his shit just a little bit more bolder because it's like.
So tell me this. It was a conversation I had with 4Xers on camera recently, and he was talking about, okay, we ain't gonna let you turn down a fade if you say you're not an affiliate, but your crime is just from over there. So that reminded me of a similar politic. Do it seem like he's stretching the politics a little too far, or does that fall under the same line? Like, it's certain things we gonna see in you that's gonna cause us to apply this program to you. We ain't gonna let you say we ain't with it.
Hey, the way he delivered that, it just received wrong because he yelled when he talked, and it's like there ain't nobody gonna receive what he's saying right.
The fact that he tend to have claimed to go through with this with someone from Inglewood, did that tend to shade or form your reaction?
No. Because I said what he said in the past, but how he said it just don't resonate.
I understand what you're saying, and I think similar to Crip Mac, that aggressiveness is what's causing him to be
no, not the aggressiveness.
Or whatever you want to describe the word, the abrasiveness, the shockingness, his energy, it's marketable, and I think he gonna grow with it. But it just brought that thought to my mind. I didn't mean to take you off your thought, Alex.
Well, I just want to say that of these 33 months, Crip Mac has to do 85%. 85% of that is 28 months. He already has a year credit, so if you calculate 85% of 33 with 1 year credit, January 2025 looks like his release date, but they give you halfway house like 6 months to 9 months before your release date. So sometime in I'm sorry, I should have said 2026.
But 2020,
January 2026.
Because 25 is like next month.
Yeah. January 2026. So sometime in 2025, Crip Mac could actually be released and sent to a halfway house.
Hey, and I hate to plug this in because I'm completely against Trump. But Tony Menace, he said Trump did some things in office that helps the federal inmates. You know what I'm saying? And I forget exactly what he said. You know what I'm saying? But y'all gonna see when it come out on Richard Hart. But he feel he gonna do like a year, then he gonna go halfway house, and then go get some home confinement with the ankle monitor. Like he gonna be out in like probably a year. That's what he feel.
Yeah, that's about right. Cause 2020, he could easily get halfway house. Maybe he'll get halfway house some point at the end of 2025, which is next year.
I watched. I think Odium Slim stated that halfway house is definitely in the cards,
and I'm sure they even have some ways to get to the halfway house even faster. The Fed custody started from December, not September. So I got March of 2026 as his official release date, but he will probably get his halfway house some point in the mid of 2025, which is just basically a year away. So that it's gonna work out. It's gonna work out.
Crip Mac, hey, it don't always turn out this sweet, homie. Hey, you gotta let's roll when you get out, bro. You gotta go square, go business, go professional. Duck off from that bullshit, brother.
But he can definitely jump right back in to where he left off. I don't know if he will tap back in with China Mac, but somebody already saw the blueprint and should be waiting for Crip Mac when he gets released from prison, that is willing to put that same effort in that Crip Mac did, because Crip Mac is, I don't know, traveling the world right now.
No,
China.
China Mac.
I'm sorry, China Mac. My bad. China Mac, Crip Mac. Yeah.
I'm raising my hand for the opportunity to say
You
first.
think you could step up to what China Mac was doing, Spider? That was a lot of work.
China Mac was doing a
the
good
homie
job.
Scrap Cliche 93 TV. We do have something in position that we could perhaps facilitate that.
Okay, yeah.
Holla at us, Crip Mac.
Yeah, you got the resources of the homeboy over there in the valley.
Yes, sir.
But it is a lot of work.
Cliche 93 TV. That's we gonna refer to him. That's his platform. Cliche 93 TV.
Hey, we could say for a later day, but I don't know what the hoorah is about China Mac and people like opposing him. You know what I'm saying? Because from what I witnessed, he did good things for him, and then when he started dealing with China Mac, he excelled. So
I
like
agree.
the people that I see on the internet, everybody like opposing him. I don't see where the energy come from, but I'm not on the inside.
Yeah,
We could say for another day, then we could dig into that because I don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised if China Mac just did these calculations and said, you know what? I'm going to be right there in 2025 waiting for him. So I wouldn't be surprised, because they had a nice, everything they did went viral. It was crazy.
And without paying, my son, my junior, he was his first year in college. His first job was given to him by the Korean man at the corner at the mini mart. So, hey, we like to paint it in a negative, but when someone outside of the culture sees potential and then they invest pre-profit and they're not looking for nothing other than a fair exchange, we have to find someone to appreciate that too when we consider ourselves disenfranchised and treated wrong by so many as well.
All right, let's move on. We'll definitely be seeing Crip Mac next year,
Nightbug.
2025, minus the 5-5 Crip.
That's going to be interesting, y'all.
Yeah. All right, hey, this is just fresh off the press, man. Ex-gang leader accused of killing Tupac Shakur will not be released on bond, the judge rules today.
So there's potential for him to get out today. Yeah, I seen some Reggie Wright reaction to the fact that his bail's supposed to be denied.
And it's just bizarre, because he was actually granted a bail amount of $700,000. That means anyone that can come up with it, you go home. You get to fight your case from home. But he's still sitting in jail. What happened?
The only reason 700,000 becomes less powerful is when somebody comes in court and try to tell the court that I'm an ex-gang leader and so is he.
Who said somebody?
The person who provided the funding came in court at a hearing regarding the funding and described himself as a mob boss and some other shit.
I didn't catch that part. That's crazy.
It was so comical, bro. Yeah, Hold No Hundred was in court testifying on behalf of trying to get the bail accepted. And I don't know, I guess he couldn't help to miss the opportunity to stroke his ego, but he told the court that he was this mob boss turned entertainment executive, that I think he thought he was on Clubhouse and not in court.
I think what you just said just furthered my theory. I think he never had no intentions on getting him out of jail. I think he just wanted to attach his name to it, stay in the algorithm. You know what I'm saying? Like he never had no real intentions on getting that man out of jail, bro.
That's deep.
For him to go to, because he got, man, well, I got plenty of sense to not go to court and say that. So now you just stamped what I already thought. Like, why?
You might be giving him too much credit.
No. He's not gonna go in the courtroom and say I'm a gang leader, which he never was.
He
Former.
said former. He said former.
Like I said, like he never was. He never was a gang leader. A part of a gang. He threw that off on purpose, and I always thought that he just wanted to attach his name to something viral. It's gonna cause a gang of controversy. He never wanted to get that man out of jail.
All right, let me read this article from Las Vegas, Associated Press. It says a judge again rejected a request to free an ailing former Los Angeles area gang leader accused in the '96 killing of Pac, saying the suspect's a cover-up related to the sources of funds for his bond. Saying she, okay, let me get that right. I guess this is a female judge. Saying she suspects a cover-up related to the sources of the funds for his bond. The decision from Clark County Court Judge Carly Kearney came after an attorney for Keefe said he would provide additional financial records to prove that Davis and the music record executive offering to underwrite his $750K bail aren't planning to reap profits from the sale of Davis's life story, and the money was legally obtained.
You talk too much. Homeboy, you never shut up. Ain't that a hip hop classic?
Right?
Yeah, whack, you talk too much. Because what you didn't say in court, you said on Clubhouse and Vlad TV, and they played it in court. And all those things you said led to the fact that Keefe D is still in a jailhouse bed. He bang blue, you bang red. You talk
Like
too
I
much.
said, he wouldn't have never went to Blueface court proceeding and said he was an ex-gang leader. He wouldn't have never said it. I don't think he had no intentions on that man getting out.
Sabotage.
Right, he just attached himself to the controversy at the time that provides more content for Clubhouse, more things to talk about in the algorithm, however you pronounce it.
He went into court and claimed that he was attempting
Zoom,
to
right?
utilize. No, I think he was present. He may have been on Zoom.
No, yeah, that was a
Zoom
video conference. Yeah.
Video conference, but he claimed to try to be following in 50 Cent's footsteps with BMF. That's what he told the court.
All right, let me read the rest of this. The judge says, I have a sense that things are trying to be covered up, adding that she was left with more questions than answers after receiving 2 identical letters, apparently from the entertainment company that music record executive Cash Whack 100 Jones says wired him the funds. The judge said one of the letters was signed with the name that does not have any ties to the company. Davis has sought to be released since shortly after his September 2023 arrest, which made him the only person ever to be charged in this Tupac case. So the judge is not buying it. And here's my question, though. This is really, I've never seen this before, but I'm aware that if you're a convicted felon of a serious or heinous type of crime, you are not allowed to profit from it. But Keefe D has not been convicted of anything at this point. So I'm wondering, is this Nevada law that says even if your trial is pending, even though you haven't been convicted, even though you're presumed innocent, you still can't profit off of your own story?
So that's the real question. Is it
That's
Nevada
crazy.
law or is it president?
I'm not even going to engage or entertain y'all in the discussion, even though that's the deeper discussion. I just
You already
want to focus
engaged.
on the fact that Hold No 100 is the fact that they double questioning, checking everything. The bail was accepted, guaranteed, and he came in here and ran his mouth, and now there's complications. I think that's the more pertinent thing considering what we all be interested into on the internet.
Whack don't care, and that wasn't his intentions. That's what I firmly believe, man.
That's my only take from it at this point.
Well, I thought he really was trying to get him out so he could capitalize off the story. Even though you said in the previous episode of Straight Politicking, you did not find any value, Spider, in Keefe D's story.
I thought that was off camera, but I don't feel like, I won't phrase it the way you did. What I'm saying is, I don't think a series, this is my knowledge of Hollywood and all that, I don't think producers or the system is interested in producing a full-length series about Tupac's killer. Maybe a shorter production, but a series that's going to lead up to highlight and describe the guy who was allegedly being charged for the murder, I just don't see it.
Well, they're doing a lot of 4-episode shows, 5-episode, and 6-episode shows.
So maybe when I heard series, I'm thinking season 1, 2 in my mind. So maybe I could have got misdirected or misthought.
It's even hard to get 10 episodes now with these production companies and the networks. Like I don't know if you guys saw the Jeffrey Dahmer one. That was 10 episodes.
I didn't see it.
That was hard. 10 episodes. Each one was amazing.
Hey, Spider, if you a good writer, you could paint whatever picture you want to paint.
True.
Like if I buy Tony Yayo life rights, I could easily take that and make it all about 50 Cent.
Are you a Tony Yayo fan?
No,
Oh.
I'm just doing an example, like how somebody a part of somebody's story, but not the premier person. You know what I'm saying?
I get it.
Or I could buy Dad's life rights and focus on Snoop.
But you have to assume that there will still be some producers interested in doing all that behind Keefe D.
One more time.
You still have to assume that there would be some type of producers interested in doing all that based on Keefe D and his story.
I thought you said they wouldn't be interested.
That's what I'm saying. But you saying the curve of that you're describing would be more interesting. I don't think that's even more interesting.
No, I was just saying that you saying that it didn't have no value. You could tell Tupac's story.
I never said that, sir. And excuses.
No, that was my response.
Yeah,
to
and I already
Spider
clarified that as soon as he said it, bro.
Okay, he said they wouldn't be interested, but I think otherwise. And then you could tell Tupac's story through his lens, and out of towners, no offense to anybody, they interested in our gang culture. So you got the South Sides and the Ma Paru Polo thing.
I'm gonna tell you why I think the story has a lot of value and it could be done is because it's also intertwines Biggie. Biggie is still alive for 6 more months. Biggie came to the South Sides. Biggie been to that park in Compton.
Without them adding on that, what you trying to help them get this production done? So
No. We straight
obvious.
politicking.
This is obvious.
No, straight politicking. No
fuck with my brodies. I'm
then,
clowning.
And then Puffy. You know how viral Puffy is right now?
Yeah, Puffy's intertwined into the story.
But
so,
you know, in order to use likeness in these type of productions, a lot of times you're going to need permission. Now, you guys get, that's what I'm saying.
They're public figures, though. You could put Puffy in anyone who's a public figure. You can do an unauthorized book, an unauthorized documentary.
That's why Suge Knight was on Rosecrans Central and not in the courtroom.
But
yeah,
and that's why he was on
because Ice Cube and Dre had every right to depict Suge Knight the way they wanted to depict them. Now Suge could have got get back if he felt they slandered him, but obviously he never sued them, and obviously Dre and Cube told as close to an accurate version of Suge that they could tell. Because trust me, Suge would be in that courtroom filing a lawsuit from prison,
of course,
if he felt that they slandered him in that movie.
Suge don't do too well in the courtroom on the criminal nor the civil side, especially the civil side.
Yeah, right. Courtrooms have not been friendly to Suge Knight since we've been aware of him. You're right. That often happens when you start entering into courtrooms on the criminal level after a certain age. It's like when your record starts after you've been an adult, I think the criminal system has a lot less sympathy upon you.
Now, before we move on, was there anything that Reggie Wright Jr. said that was interesting regarding this Keefe D bail hearing?
He did say that he doesn't believe, even though he's the number one component campaigning against Keefe D, he says this doesn't indicate that that's final. He said that they said to submit the paperwork again, and there may be potentially a reevaluation of the issues. And he also clarified that the trial date went from November back to March now.
Of 2025.
2025.
Yeah.
And it seems like that Reggie is kind of convinced they're just trying to age him out with his health, and he'll never go to trial. He'll either plea or pass.
Or get time served.
Plea.
Yeah.
Time served is out the question.
No, if they want a conviction, it's been 30 years, bro. They want a conviction bad.
They could tell Keefe D, look, we want you to plead guilty to the lowest level of homicide, which I don't know what they have there, 2nd degree manslaughter, 3rd degree manslaughter. Plead guilty to the lowest level we have, and we give you time served.
Yep.
I think they want him.
With a compassionate release attached because of your health.
They don't want the conviction. They want him. That's what I believe.
Clark County wants an old man
right.
to walk the yard,
right?
Ailing.
Because to them, that's a trophy. You know how long this case and it went unsolved?
But that's what I'm trying to get you to understand. To them, the trophy is based upon the conviction, not the actual punishment or the experience of the suspect. Once they get the conviction, black and white, they got the trophy. That's like the ones hanging the trophy in the Raptors. It don't matter if they forfeited. When you look up, we got 10 championships.
They aware that a conviction ain't always a W.
The only person taking
they want to make an example out of him.
The only person taking it that personal right now is Keefe D. These people are doing this through their career. They weren't even the people handling these cases back then when it happened. They don't have that personal attachment.
Yeah. All right. I want to move on to this other topic regarding Black Sam and the Khaled, DJ Khaled
comment.
You
was gonna bring that.
But before we talk about that, I just wanted to let all of the listeners of Straight Politicking know that DJ Vlad apologized for what he said about Marlon Wayans, for making it public, for going in on him. He apologized, but I don't know if you would consider it.
I need to hear it.
The most sincere apology. You want to hear it?
Yeah, but at least he backtracked his position, huh?
He did backtrack.
I would love to hear it.
All right, let's. I don't know if they got this queued up. You got this the DJ Vlad apology queued up?
Vlad, I told her I'm not going to do it. Let me tell you something about yourself. Okay. I like you. But you getting cocky now, like the Marlon Wayans thing. Like, you want to fuck with him, he's roasting you, bro. Like,
That's cool.
You got to
I
leave
roasted
people
him
alone,
too.
bro.
I roasted him too.
Vlad, you got to be more humble, Vlad. I'm telling
Yeah,
you.
man, listen. With the Marlon Wayans thing, let's talk about that. And I just did an interview with academics, and I ultimately apologized. I think I went kind of overboard with my public criticism of our situation. I reached out to him. I've always respected him. I've always been a fan. We've communicated over DM over the years. We did a little short interview back in the day when he was doing a film junket.
Every time I think about you, I think about that beard.
Beard, yeah, no, he said my beard looked like Ice Spice's ass
I think
hair or
about that
something.
beard, bro. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
So we started to talk about doing an interview, and he put me with this lady who was in charge of his negotiation, and she asked for.
We don't want to get into it because then it's gonna go viral again.
It's not gonna go viral. It's already been discussed.
No, don't even worry about it. Let's go to the next thing. Leave it alone, Vlad.
I'm not gonna leave it alone because you brought it up.
I like Marlon Wayans and them for years.
I like Marlon Wayans too. And
that whole family of guys are legends. Like, you know what it is?
Yeah.
People look at you like you a legend, like in a YouTube world, like blogger world.
Yeah.
But to like people that like In Living Color, to the Wayans brothers, to the empire they built, they look at you like, yo, no disrespect, but like, yo, who the fuck Vlad talking to? Like, who the fuck is he?
Right,
Vlad
and listen,
TV.
Ultimately, I apologize publicly for putting all this business out there.
And then, you know what makes it even worse? You're a white boy, so it's like, come on.
Oh, yeah, no, he pulled the race card out on me.
No, of course, because you're a white boy, so they look at it like, they look at it like you and our culture a little bit.
Yeah, but I thought that was lame because you having a back and forth about money, and suddenly race gets brought into it, which got nothing to do with the discussion.
I mean, sometimes when people get mad, motherfucker, you white motherfucker, sometimes, I could, Vlad, you white.
But it's you trying to divide and conquer. You trying to bring a black man
people
down.
Just get mad.
Rah, rah, rah.
All right, that was, of course, Tony Yayo.
Hey,
Putting Vlad in check, right?
Shout out Tony Yayo for that one.
No. I respect. Hey, you need friends like Tony Yayo that's gonna tell you when you're wrong. You know what I'm saying? I respect that.
So what did you think of the apology? Because some people felt it was kind of half apology.
It was about.
Well, we didn't hear the apology.
Well, we didn't really hear.
The apology was what act.
But even him explaining him apologizing didn't seem like it was thorough enough.
This is the thing.
I can't judge off that.
Yeah.
This is the thing. I heard him say this one phrase, and it gives me everything I need to know. I'm a fan. I've been a fan. Well, shut the fuck up. If you're a fan, you do not dictate the value of any type of interaction with the individual you are a fan of, motherfucker. Chris Brown charged $1,000 for a picture. I'm sorry. Chris Brown charges fans thousands of dollars for a photograph. 1,000. Shut up, Vlad. You are an outsider and a fan. So how can you have any other investment other than interested in you want to patronize or you don't? What is your dog in the fight? You just said it. You're an outsider. Fans are outsiders.
For one, he shouldn't have went public with their negotiation.
Business.
That's for one. And then for two, he purposely threw him that number, so I guess he felt insulted. You know what I'm saying? But just because you're a fan of somebody, that don't mean.
It seemed like he was insulted initially because it wasn't even a personal interaction. He had me talking to his representative. Mm-hmm. So he was already indignant that this black man, that's why black becomes implicated without you mentioning it. Because we only feel like that's the way business happens. Talent does not discuss business. They put you in touch with their representative. So if you respected him as a talent and a businessman, that would even be anything to mention. That is the protocol. That's the routine. You know this, Vladimir.
So yeah, but he said he had DMs with him over the years, so he thought it was cool like that.
Yeah, we was cool to DM, but when it comes to breaking bread and me sitting on that platform that we know is a vulturistic platform, I'm going to deal with you from a premier value perspective, and you don't honor that, get the fuck out of my face.
Well, I appreciate that he apologized to Mr. Wayans.
Take that, apologize.
All right, let me ask y'all a quick question.
Freezer and sit on it like a long pole.
Let me ask y'all a question. So, anybody that's a higher up in the black culture, like hip hop, is they automatically considered a culture vulture?
If they're an outsider to the culture and they're profiting from the culture,
right? If you profiting from, you know, hip hop was built on our back. So, if you're a white boy and you one of the higher ups and you profiting off of our culture, are you automatically a culture vulture?
No. But the majority of them are, because the culture vulture phrase comes from the fact that a vulture flies high, watch somebody else make a kill, and then they come in and take the kill away from the motherfucker who actually earned it. So if you are a white boy who realized the value in a motherfucking certain arena of black people, and you come in with a plan and everybody is fairly compensated, no, you're not considered a vulture.
Yeah, but I think the outsider label will put you into that culture vulture category in most instances if you're the outsider.
Especially if you don't fairly share the spoils
I think
with those that are providing the whole situation, us, the culture.
I'm not being particular with no white boy in the higher ups, but I do think the term culture vulture get used too loosely.
Based upon, you gotta specify someone or a certain situation that you respect. Who doesn't deserve it?
I think it be all good to the white boy piss you off, and now he a culture vulture.
Answer my question: which white boy that we're familiar with doesn't deserve the title that gets it?
I'll have to like think on it and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Well, we know Adam is definitely an outsider to the culture, but Vlad actually has a career as a hip hop DJ in New York for many years. I don't know if that's enough to make him an insider, but he definitely
DJs get paid.
He definitely dabbled in the culture early in his career.
Okay, so the boy
Mixtapes and all that.
Dame Dash been going hard on for years. I don't know how to pronounce his name.
Your coin?
Him. Like so I'm like, okay, do you consider Eminem a culture vulture?
Now, when you think about 50 Cent would not be without Eminem, whether he fed off the culture is a different question than a vulture. That's why I gave you the origin of the phrase. A vulture takes the spoils away from those who earn it and don't share it.
I heard you.
So Eminem, to a certain degree, has created a lot of success and longevity for a few people that are from the culture.
But I don't consider Eminem an outsider to the culture, being that he's from the inner city of Detroit and grew up within the hip hop scene of Detroit.
And that's a very specific particular.
Okay.
You might be right.
Okay, but y'all did hear the taste when he was referring to women as black, B-I-T-C-H's.
And this is why I don't give a fuck about him to this day.
The word with the hard ER.
Yeah, no apologies.
So did you ever hear that, Adam? I mean, Alex?
I heard he said it on a mixtape early in his career.
It's like the song is like 6, 7, 8 minutes long though.
Yeah, I never heard it.
And then he explained that he was heartbroken or some BS, right? But that don't ever get brought up.
Some people bring it up,
Benzino.
but it was early in his career.
And that's what people always refer to.
So since
I only used to lynch niggers. I don't do it no more.
No, I'm just trying to get an understanding. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I think pretty much
All you gotta do is pick one black guy named Curtis Jackson and then make him famous, and you sit back and he'll coon for you for the rest of your life. You don't have to worry about facing those questions ever again. Because anytime a black person holds you accountable or tries to, Curtis buff ass Jackson's gonna jump up and say, "That's my white boy. You better not bother him."
No, I just wanted to get like, you know what I'm saying, what people consider a culture vulture, or if any white boy come and enter our realm and profit, do y'all just say that? You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to get, you know what I'm saying?
If they profit to an extent to where the culture does not equally benefit, they're a vulture.
Okay.
All right, let's move on to our final topic. It's kind of related. We talked about Black Sam and the interview he gave Big Boy last week. We played 2 clips last week, and we didn't really talk about the whole DJ Khaled situation that happened shortly before Nipsey was killed. But Black Sam wanted to somehow mention this DJ Khaled situation as if it was relevant. He suggested that it was relevant or connected to Nipsey's death. And without saying that, he suggested it, and of course, people on the internet are running with that narrative right now.
Like crazy.
Go
ahead, Munchie. I think I went first on almost every pass he threw. Your turn.
Yeah, go ahead, Munch, and then after that, I'll play a clip.
What he said, I don't think it was meant to be incriminating or getting anybody locked up. That's for one, right? I think he threw that out there by design, based on the love that Nipsey had from all 50 states and out of America. You can see the love he had come from Africa and all that after his passing. I think he just basically did that so the connections Big U do have to the industry and the love he may have, it could get cut off. You know what I'm saying? Based on the emotional connection people have with Nipsey. I don't think it was nothing like on a dry snitch. Well, we'll call it, it's defined at that, but I don't think it was meant to, hey, let's get Big U locked up. Because
outside of the legalities, do you think he's trying to paint the picture that he thinks that
he wanted to paint the picture that
he's not friendly toward Big U based on the dynamics and relationships with him, he and his brother? You think that was present?
Run that back one more time.
You think he was at least expressing he's not friendly or loving toward Big U's energy based on the dynamics with his brother and Big U in general?
No, I think it was just what I said. I think he knew what he was doing. He was just trying to cut water off.
He knew what he was doing. Oh, cut water off.
Yeah, cut water off.
From whom?
Industry connects that got that.
For who?
Him just for himself.
Cut off for himself.
Himself. You know what I mean?
He said he can't cut water off from whom.
Cut Big U water off from any connections he may have, and that people that had love for Nipsey. When you hear this, and a quick reminder, it might cut his water off. Like, I'm not dealing with him.
Why would he desire to see Big U's water cut off, in your opinion?
Because people that know the history, you know, he wasn't never, him and Big U ain't, you know what I'm saying? Closer to Nipsey death, maybe Big U and Nipsey didn't reconcile, but that ain't got nothing to do with his brother. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. But you know,
I can relate to that because I can know from personal experience, not just from Nipsey, but from Big U. My interaction with them personally on opposite sides of them knowing we're talking to one another. I know, regardless of how bad it had gotten at one point, they were actively attempting as grown men to do what they could to mend the lack of communication, whatever we want to call it, that they went through. And I just find it crazy that everybody trying to paint Big U in this light that, oh, he was jealous that Nipsey was able to bring someone as high profile as Khaled to the hood without considering his position. And I see everybody running with that. I'm not knocking Black Sam for maybe even connecting anything when it comes to Khaled, but I just keep pointing out where I seen Big U, bro. He showed text messages. There's been so much conversation about it, and it seems to me, from my perspective, I could be wrong. It looked like DJ Khaled, who had a pre-existing relationship with Big U, gave him a number that was no longer working, and Big U viewed that it was intentional, and he hollered at Nipsey about it. And if you know anything about L.A. and you believe you're coming to Los Angeles and throw a high-profile anything in the 60s, and Big U is not going to be considered, especially if you have a relationship with him. If it's Nipsey or anybody, that's going to cause a problem. And from what I saw, the text messages between Nipsey and Big U, where Nipsey told him, let me know when he balances it, that was well understood, no jealousy involved. That's kind of like how shit go over there.
All right, we're going to play a couple clips. We're gonna first play Black Sam talking about this DJ Khaled situation.
What was that day like for you, bro? And did you feel any premonitions before we lost Nip?
100%, man. I think, man, we just, it's my cousin's birthday, so the night, I want to say the night before, Nip took us to Wally's, Beverly Hills, me, Pops, and Adam, my cousin Adam, and just had a long talk with bro. You know, not to get into too much detail, but there was a lot of big politics getting into with certain people, you know, in the hood. Not to be speaking too much on shit, but we came frontline like we always do. And, you know, niggas gonna know we gonna crash out behind it. Back, we not playing. Ain't nobody saying nothing to Khaled. Ain't nobody doing nothing to Khaled. And he's straight. And Hussle frontline that. And, you know, we felt like certain people didn't like that. And did the video. Khaled got out of there perfect and was smooth. And, you know, we appreciated Khaled for showing up and coming to the hood and doing the video. And
that's good.
You know.
Okay, so You heard Black Sam said, we felt like certain people didn't like that.
After you said front line, it was a couple phrases I was trying to memorize. Front line was another phrase, and there was a lot of bravado in what he stated. And if you know about the environment that he's discussing, if you feel that way, you can invite all type of energy.
But it's clear that he's alluding that
Nobody's going to, that's what he said, nobody's going to say nothing. Now, if the nobody is Big U in particular, and Khaled gave him the wrong number at a previous date, and Big U has no problem with Nipsey and his career, the separation, they're mending their relationship, and somebody industry-wise popped up in the rolling 60s and think they're going to have a presence after they threw me for an okie doke with a... Obviously, Big U got that Nipsey on some love shit. Look, nephew, I ain't tripping on what you're doing, but you know he whoop-de-whoop sent him the screenshot. Look, he did... Nipsey told him, like, I'm going to give you the number, holler at him. When he balance it out, let me know.
All right, so before we go into that, I want to play this clip of Big U explaining his conversation via text with Nipsey on the DJ Khaled situation.
You got to get in close. You see the date on there? See what that say? Tuesday, March 28th. This me and him talking. This me talking about DJ Khaled. I told him DJ Khaled had gave me his what you call him number, right? And I said I need to talk to Khaled. So Nip said at the video, did you talk to him? You see what he said? I ain't gotta read it. He said, did you talk to him? But I was doing an interview too, and I said yeah. And I sent him a call, cuz back after the meeting. Nip said off top, let me know once he balances it.
So look, it's obvious.
Now you see the date on there, right?
March 28th.
Now how was me and him having a conflict?
So it's obvious.
If me and him talking, but then look, let me show you though. Not only that, let me show you why Nip took off the remember when he had that Grammy Award thing? Look what I told him right here.
Well, I think that's the main point, right?
I said
All right, so let me ask you this, Spider. If Nipsey is responding to you in your back and forth conversation via text, and he says off top, that means that conversation is on some friendly, positive, everything's cool. He ain't gonna say off top if he's upset.
That's equivalent to saying salute, or between Big U and Nipsey, that's equivalent to saying neighborhood.
And that was Nipsey's phrase, off top.
Yep.
You know.
As to confirm, I'm in agreement.
Yeah. So now, what's the issue with Big U having the wrong phone number of Khaled? This is a previous situation that happened prior to March?
Not being an expert or actually in knowledge of what happened, just being able to develop a perception from all the information that's before us, it appears that because we know Big U's status, I wouldn't be surprised to know he had a prior relationship with Khaled that extended this video with Nipsey. And from what it appears to me at this time of this video, without Big U's knowledge, DJ Khaled, not Nipsey, DJ Khaled was in his hood doing something without his knowledge in the rolling 60s after you cut off our normal level of communication as far as Big U concerned by giving me a fake number. So it didn't matter if it was, shout out to Key Rock, Free the Homie, it could have been Key Rock, it could have been Nipsey, it could have been Corrupt, it could have been anybody over there. Big U was gonna have the same interest in that homie making Khaled be accountable for what he did.
Okay, where do it say, when did fake number come up? Why couldn't it have been the old number? Well, people keep saying fake.
Irregardless, Big U was interested in why my communication with you changed and you in my hood.
But you know, fake number changed the whole dynamics of the message, though. It sound like...
The thing is, you in my hood, and I want to talk to you, and we had a cool rapport. And
you hear what I'm saying, though, with fake and old number.
I think
if Spider give me a fake number, I'm like, oh, Spider on some other shit. But if it's an old number, it's not like that.
See, me and you, myself, I'm the one that assumed or insinuated. We don't know. Big U said whatchamacallit. He don't say fake, new, old, wrong. He don't say none of that.
Okay, that's all right. That's all I was trying to...
he said whatchamacallit. And he seems when he's reading it, whatever it was, he was interested about it. And when he hollered at his homie was fulfilling the request and politicking and patching it in.
And from what I gathered, the video was never supposed to be in the 60s.
In
But
your hood.
Nipsey.
Well, your section.
You're right. In the city I'm from, they was in the Queen Streets in Inglewood.
And Nipsey refused.
Said, nah, I ain't doing it over there. Come to the, I don't know, it's Chris Slauson, Dorset Village, or wherever they was at. So it wasn't really planned for him to be over there anyway. You know what I'm
Notice it wasn't John Legend. Perhaps Big U doesn't have a history rapport with John Legend. Nipsey, John Legend, no question. I totally, fully understand having a motherfucking connection with Big U and being in the industry and then thinking you're going to avoid me and pop up in my hood with anybody. You know I love Nipsey. I'm going to eliminate Nipsey. Anybody think they're going to bring somebody industry-wise to the 60s that was cool with Big U and now they're acting like I'm coming without you. It's a problem, bro.
When you say words like avoid, fake number, then that alludes to the theory they trying to put out.
Now, I understand clearly what you're talking about, Spider, because this is just normal hood politicking. But Black Sam grew up in the same neighborhood. He should know that. The way he articulated the Khaled situation is he left it open for interpretation to suggest that whatever Big U and Khaled's situation was not normal, and it possibly led to the death of my bro.
Hey, did y'all ever take into consideration that Black Sam don't have no media training?
Oh, definitely I did.
He never 5 years of his brother passing, never been on camera until now. Even before then, he never was. I don't think he had a social media. You know what I'm saying?
And it seemed like he tried his best to avoid what we're suggesting, but he still didn't meet the mark. Because I heard him say this a couple times, not to say too much.
Not to say too much, not in too much detail, not to say too much.
But he clearly left this door open for all kind of conspiracy theories, all kind of criticisms, and most of this is creating a whole lot of false information.
True.
And that's basically what Cowboy said, and I agree.
And for us to react to it based on the facts, it casts us in the light to a lot of people is we're trying to protect certain people, but really we tend to react to all the information or content on the internet that's relevant to our culture. This is one of the subjects, and we always keep it honest about our thoughts on the subject matter.
I'm glad you said that.
Ain't no way a guy like DJ Khaled, of his caliber and his wealth, is going to pull up in the hood without somebody from that hood trying to get at him.
And not saying Nipsey is not qualified, but if you had a previous relationship with Big U, you cannot then think you finna, I'm with him and I ain't got, that's going to be a problem, bro.
Yeah, 100%. But I don't think that has any, I think it's bad timing for Big U, because this is he's having these conversations and back and forths with Nipsey. It seemed like on a positive tip, days before he gets shot by Eric Holder.
But people gotta understand, just because he's straight and got it squared away with Nipsey, don't mean that they go for his brother also, Sam. You know what I'm saying?
And I think a lot of that has to do with what we said. We got to separate Sam from us politicking and him being a family member, still grieving, trying his best not to say too much, and he don't know what to say still to this point.
Yeah, and I want all of the straight politicking listeners to know that Black Sam opted not to come to court. Black Sam opted not to see the case that was presented against Eric Holder. So a lot of people have been hitting me up saying, Black Sam knows more than you. Black Sam knows all this stuff. He never showed up to court, which is really unusual. You always have a family member of the victim, at least, I want to say 85% of the time. Sometimes there might not be, but someone of Nipsey Hussle's caliber, Lauren London never showed up. None of his kids showed up. His bro didn't show up. His dad and mom, nobody from the family came to that trial.
What do you think about the perspective of the fact that that was the first Smart Store we allegedly aware of, and there's no footage available from looking inward, outward, that would particularly possibly paint a very more clear picture of what took place?
Hey, I had a conversation with the detective about the marathon cameras. This never came up in court. This never came up in trial.
I think I know what you're about to say.
But Detective Washington said they wanted those cameras.
I know they did.
and he said that he believes that the DVRs were immediately removed from the Marathon store that stored all that footage. Now, Cowboy's response to that is that the cameras were not actually recording live. They were sending a signal of what was going on around the building and on the property, but they weren't recording.
I mean, they're forever in virtuality somewhere that we should be able to access if they weren't even recording.
No. What he's saying is that
You can only view it.
I forgot that word.
You couldn't rewind it and back it up.
no. He's saying that the cameras are sending a signal to the screens inside of what's going on outside, but they're not recording.
It's a word for that.
And that's a possibility too. I used to have a system
So
like
just for
that.
surveillance,
It's just- yeah.
immediately.
Yeah, it's just to look.
In real time.
But I don't know if that's it's possible, but I don't know if that's true.
In the world's alleged first known smart store, is that how it's going to be going? And it's, you think about it.
I find it difficult to believe that they didn't have DVRs, because you could have a surveillance system minus a DVR.
No, DVRs are not smart. He marketed that store as a cloud-based information smart store. That's a DVR is old technology. That's before the word smart even came up.
Okay, so what you're saying is you believe those cameras were recording and the footage exists somewhere
And
today.
I'm attempting to give Black Sam some credit, the fact that it never surfaced.
The fact that it's a smart store, I think that got more to do with the merch, and you scan the merch and all that little stuff. I don't think it got nothing to do with surveillance.
All right, so when Cowboy says the cameras weren't recording, you don't believe that?
I do not.
Okay.
I don't believe they make cameras these days that don't go into some type of cloud. I'm so scared to do something on camera because on my turn, when I do it, it's going to be recording. Whether it's the kind you say don't record or not, they're going to find a way to have it. So I think backwards and reverse when it comes to technology. I think everything's recording.
Well, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. There was a belief that Black Sam and the team had the DVRs removed, immediately took everything out, and if he did do that, I'm not hating on it. I mean, you have, if it was recording, those are super HD cameras that show everything play by play, and you don't want the world to see what happened to your bro like that. It's worse enough you got to see it on these gas station cameras from across the parking lot.
I've never watched the initial video that was released or any version of it more than once. I've seen glimpses of it on accident here and there, but I've only watched it one time. I can't even repeat it watching that shit.
But there was a request by the LAPD to get the cameras inside the store, obviously unsuccessfully.
I've been to a situation where I've ended up having to use my firearm at a public event to deter a whole lot of interaction. Bam, and I got a call from the person on the venue shortly thereafter and told me, hey, the police just left. They wanted my cameras. I told them the cameras didn't work. And he was like, but if you want to come see, I got all the shooters on camera.
Damn.
Shout out to you, my bro. Yeah.
All right, man. Any final thoughts on this whole DJ Khaled, Black Sam conspiracy theory?
I was glad to see Big U in Miami for Pistol Pete's birthday with them boys, where everybody trying to paint this narrative and picture on him in public. I was glad to see that.
Pistol Pete from New York?
Yeah, the whole terror squad.
Oh, yeah, the terror squad. Yeah.
So in the midst of them trying to say and point all this callous shit out, Big U was politicking with them, kicking it in a very intimate setting. It's like it was more than 15 people at like a very private celebration. He was right there with
Hey,
them.
but you know, Pistol Pete and his circle is never going to pass judgment on Big U for whatever's going on.
And that's a legend connecting with a legend. Pistol Pete got a similar relationship from the East Coast that Big U carries, and so they speak. They don't need no mediating in their relationship.
Hey, but you know what Big U needs to do? I think he needs to file a civil suit, a defamation civil suit against a whole lot of folks that are running their mouths without any evidence of what they're saying on the internet.
I agree, and I think if you be willing to coach him through it, he might be interested. And Big U, take it from your little homie. You ain't got shit to say on the internet no more. You gotta respond, react to nobody. You as an individual has enough natural reaction to the subject matter to where your actual thought and your reality gonna be heard. You ain't no public speaker. Keep doing what you're doing. blessing them babies and trying to correct your wrongs, man. But trying to describe and explain and react to everything on the internet don't always work in your favor, cuz on hood.
Yeah, and how many of us are fortunate enough to have a son that made it to the league like that?
I'm still trying to get there. Salute, Brody.
Yeah.
Oh, my mama.
All right, man. We're gonna wrap this up, man. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. Munchie B, Spider Loc, Morals Over Money, The Black Box. Let me see if I got this right. Cliche 93. Cliche 93. TV. Cliche 93
Sure.
TV.
That's Morals Over Money 92.
Okay, Morals Over Money 92.
And if we're going to talk about over, I can't say morals over money without saying facts over feelings. Although we haven't been recording recently, we'll get back at it, y'all.
Yeah, we're going to get back on that Facts Over Feelings. But right now, you're watching straight Politicking on the Street TV network, and we're out.